Bihari Kunda Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Bolo 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Radha Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaura Pinandi. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa, Pri Vratigacharya Stotra Satya, Sri Srimad His Divine Grace. Charabai Charanarvin Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Skandi Biti Founder Charya Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki Samavata Bhakti Vrinda ki Hari Nam Sankirtana ki Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Nitai Gaura Pimanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru, to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Dakshuranmritam Jena Tasmaya Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Syam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanditam Scha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart becomes destroyed or practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamitam Utamashloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasthayanam Mahat. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Sarabhyai Namaha Om Sarabhyai Namaha
Om Namo Surabhyaya Namaha.
Om Sarabhyai Namaha
Surabhyaya Namaha.
Mukam karoti vasalam pangom langayate girim yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Sunday. We know today's Sunday.
Pardon?
We know that today is Sunday because you're here.
I try to be regular. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Where does this nice garland come from? Oh, Jai Nrsimhadev ki. Actually, someone sent a nice picture of Mother Surabhi on the, what is it? Global Varnashram. Yeah, you can see.
Oh my goodness.
You can read, maybe it's a reference there from the...
I lost, okay. According to the Bhagavatam Purana, Sri Surabhi is the eternal original cow and divine origin of all cows.
Yes.
Narayan answered, the presiding deity of the cows and their primeval mother, Surabhi, was born in Goloka. Bhagavatam Purana, Prakriti Kanda, chapter 47, verses 1 to 33.
And
this particular chapter of the Bhagavatam Purana gives a detailed description of Mother
Surabhi, yes.
With so many calves around her. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, actually we can show it here. You see? Everyone can see. Mother Surabhi. Very healthy and happy.
So, Maharaj, I have a question. Around Sharanagati, you see all the beaver cows.
Yes.
And I offer my obeisances to them. They are cows. I look at them and I go, you're very ugly. Some of them are very ghostly, haunted looking, very strange. But they are cows.
They are cows.
They are cows.
Well, you know,
some terrible karma.
That question comes up
right.
in the context of cows, you know, because some people are fanatic and they say actually the only real cows, others are not cows, the only real cows are the cows with a hump on the back, you know.
Right.
And there's a theory, I don't think it's been established scientifically, but Surya Nadi, Surya, sun god.
Yes.
Nadi means nerve.
Yes.
So the hump, according to this theory, has the ability to take in the rays of the sun in a very unique, no other animal can do that. And by taking in the rays of the sun, there's some kind of transformation that takes place whereby gold particles, gold particles permeates within the body of the cow and goes into the cow dung and the cow urine. And that's part of the reason why in Ayurveda, cow dung, cow urine is so medicinal.
I see.
Yeah.
But then that would mean that only an Indian Brahmin can be a Vaishnava. Isn't that
Well,
akin to that whole mentality?
that's connected, yes. But so that yeah, so it begs the question:
Right.
uh, who are who are really the cows? Who are the cows? But
And
then, yes,
Prabhupada loved Kali.
yes, who was not?
Kali, the
Yes,
first
the first
cow of ISKCON
in
in
New
New
Vrindavan,
Vrindavan.
in New Vrindavan, yes.
He didn't say she was.
Right, right. She didn't have a hump, so let's
She
reject
was
her.
a frumpy old black cow with a little white.
But it's like in the Shastra, there are 8,400,000 species,
Mm-hmm.
and among those, there are 400,000 human species.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so amongst cows, there must be different, there are,
Right.
like there used to be in India, I read, there used to be over 120 different species of cows, not that long ago. And now there's only about 33.
Oh, really?
We have lost many of the species. And so, see, this is part of what some sadhus or brahmanas, by being more acquainted with various literatures, then just like here it mentioned, this particular Purana is having detailed information about Surabhi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just like also one devotee, he was mentioning how in the Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, we adore, we worship the Srimad Bhagavatam. We're going to start the class in a few minutes here. But in the Bhagavatam is primarily focused on bhakti. Of course, there are many other topics, including Varnashram, for example,
Mm-hmm.
that are there, including cosmology. Now, this one devotee was giving seminars on what is called Vedic geography,
Mm-hmm.
which is different from cosmology, because cosmology is like outside the universe, or rather outside our immediate planet, is the universe. So he was telling Vedic geography in terms of this planet, of our planet. Very interesting. He made so many references from different shastras that we're less familiar with, establishing uh, the authenticity of various names that even some of them exist now that go back to hundreds, if not millions of years ago. Um, so, in other words, so much of information is there in our Shastra, but because we are, because a lot of the Shastra has disappeared also, right?
Right.
90% of what was put into writing 5,000 years ago by Srila Vyasadeva, according to Srila Jiva Goswami in his Satsandarbha, is no longer available. So many books were destroyed, and then the whole time factor. Um, so there's so many. It's just like Bhagavatam. Now we read every day the Bhagavatam, and we know our understanding is that there's 12 cantos of the Bhagavatam, but there's more cantos. You know that?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
There are
Where are they?
we have the shortest version of the Bhagavatam.
Oh,
Yeah, in Swargaloka they recite the Bhagavatam, and this is nicely explained also by Srila Jiva Goswami. There are certain personalities who are uh, giving more detailed information of the Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam is unlimited. It's presenting us the Nitya Lila, unlimited pastimes of the Lord, and also there's practically unlimited pastimes in terms of what is happening in the various universes. Our Bhagavatam is not only, as we know, speaking about what happened in this universe, but in other universes as well. That's why sometimes it's like seems incompatible, um, and of course we are especially challenged in Kali Yuga because we cannot we don't have the ability to understand so easily, and um, our attention span is very less, etc.
So we should be very careful when we, I mean, about cow only these particular cows are
We
real.
should be very careful, of course, in all respects, especially in terms of concluding or telling that only cows with a hump are real cows, because some people in India, especially, uh, who are very prominent uh, in society, make such kind of public statements. I witnessed myself how, you know, those that don't have a hump, those are not what they call deshi cows, right? Deshi cows, um, you can kill them and you can eat them.
Yes, I've
People,
heard.
they say that, which
So,
is,
so that's very dangerous.
well, of course, yeah, we don't accept that, and we don't also accept that deshi cows deshi cow means cows from your
Area.
country.
Right.
Well, people from other countries also have their deshi cows.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
I mean, Krishna put cows in different places for different purposes.
And they have different bodies to accommodate for those
Yes,
different
yes, yes.
areas.
Yeah.
Maharaj, how you deal with that reference about Srimad Bhagavatam that it contains 18,000 verses?
That
So
it
that's
contains.
definitely one measure of the Bhagavatam. So yes, maybe there are some other Bhagavatams you can call Bhagavatam, but this Bhagavat Purana is containing 18,000 verses, some references somewhere in another Purana.
Yes, but I'm telling that in the Tattva Sandarbha, the first of the Sat Sandarbhas, Tattva Sandarbha of Srila Jiva Goswami, he gives further information that actually some Bhagavatams have like I think maybe 1 million verses, and it's like wow. We have it's like our universe is the smallest planet, smallest universe,
Right.
and our planet is like very tiny. So it's amazing how it's like there are further um, editions or more elaborate descriptions of the Bhagavatam spoken by I forget different personalities. Yeah. Um,
All that being said, though, about cows, Indian cows and other cows, Indian cows are definitely the most beautiful and remind one of Krishna more than, I mean, there's no question, right? I mean, that's what I feel. I look at them and I go, wow, this cow
of
is
course,
so beautiful.
in Bali they have what they call Bali sapi. Sapi means cow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, special, very beautiful actually. They're like uh, they're brownish. They're very unique,
Uh-huh.
and they have a law in the province of Bali,
Mm-hmm.
which is an island uh, by the name. The name of the state is also Bali, and they don't allow any other cows.
Oh,
There's
really?
there's a law, you cannot bring other cows, and those cows are very. They don't give milk. Really, they don't give milk. Uh, they use them for plowing and for other purposes we will not mention. uh, but one devotee sent me a video just maybe 2 weeks ago, and it's a video of a devotee, one of my disciples actually, who is having one of those small calves.
Oh, those little ones.
Yeah, you know, when they're small, they're like more friendly, right?
Yes, yes.
And he's massaging and bathing, and that because otherwise these cows are very fearful. They have reason to be fearful because you know they are generally not uh, so uh, friendly. Yeah, but actually, any animal, any living entity, if you show love and affection, I mean, it might take some time to do that with a tiger, for example. But I mean, there are people who train and from young age they develop a close, yeah. But one has to be careful with some species,
Yes.
right? But when I was watching this video, and I was seeing this calf was like very, very happy, you know, because he was taking the time to take a water and you know massage and the cow was enjoying naturally. So Prabhupada mentions, of course, how cows they will reciprocate and they will give more milk when they are happy, when they're more satisfied, isn't it? When one has that. So that's connected with reviving our personal relationship with Krishna. Establishing a personal relationship with devotees, establishing personal relationship with the spiritual master, establishing personal relationship with the cows. You know, actually seeing all living entities as pandita samadarshinaha, as eternal servants of the Lord, as devotees also. So that kind of consciousness. So before we get carried away with
Yes,
cow,
that's so
cow,
wonderful.
cow kata, yeah, of course, we'll read our verse dutifully here this morning, which is, I believe, I think 14, huh? 1-4. Okay. The the wonderful stories of the Bhagavatam. Text 1-4. Parishranta Indriya Atma Aham Trit Paritah Bubukshitah Snatva Pitva Radhe, not Radhe, it's, but it's quite close. Nadia, we are in the district of Nadia.
We are.
And Nadia means river, actually. Upas Pristaha Gata Sramaha Parisrantendriyat Maham Trit Parito Bubukshitaha Snatva Pitva Radhe Nadya Upaspristo gatasramaha.
Upasprisho gatasramaha.
Parishrantendriyat maham.
Parishantendriyatmaham.
Trit parito bubukshitaha.
Utparito bubukshitaha.
Snatva pitva rade nadya.
Snatva pitva hradinadya.
Upaspristo gatasramaha.
Upasprisho gatasramaha.
Parishrantendriyat maham.
Parishantendriyatmaham.
Trit parito bubukshitaha.
Utparito bubukshitaha.
Snatva pitva rade nadya.
Snatva pitva hradinadya.
Upaspristo gatasramaha.
Upasprisho gatasramaha. Parishantendriyatmaham.
Parishrantendriyatmaham.
Utparito bubukshitaha.
Tritparito bubukshitaha.
Snatva pitva hradinadya.
Snatva pitva rade nadya.
Upasrusto gatasramaha.
Upaspristo gatasramaha.
Parishrantendriyatmaham.
Parishrantendriyatmaham.
Parito bubukshita.
Tritparito bubukshitaha.
Snatma pitva hradinodya.
Snatva pitva rade nadya.
Upashpristo gatashramaha.
Upaspristo gatasramaha. Parishrantendriyatmaham. Tritparito bubukshitaha. Snatva pitva rade nadya. Upaspristo gatasramaha. Parishranta,
Parishanta.
being tired.
Being tired.
Indriya,
Indriya.
bodily.
Bodily.
Atma,
Atma.
mentally.
Mentally.
Aham,
Aham.
I.
I.
Trit paritaha,
Paritaha.
being thirsty.
Being thirsty.
Bubukshitaha,
Bubukshitaha.
and hungry.
And hungry.
Snatva,
Snatva.
taking a bath.
Taking a bath.
Pitva,
Pitva.
and drinking water also.
And drinking water also.
Rade,
Rade.
in the lake.
In lake.
Nadyaha,
Nadya.
of a river.
Of
Upaspristaha,
Upasprishtaha.
being in contact with.
Being in contact with.
Gata, got relief from. Sramaha,
Samaha.
tiredness.
Tiredness.
Purport, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Thus traveling, I felt tired, both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry. So I took a bath in a river, lake, and also drank water. By contacting water, I got relief from my exhaustion. Kindly repeat after me. Thus traveling,
Thus
traveling.
eyeball, I felt tired,
I felt tired.
both bodily
Both bodily
and mentally.
And mentally.
And I was both
And I was both
thirsty and hungry.
thirsty and hungry.
So I took a bath
So I took a bath
in a river lake.
in a river lake.
What's a river lake? Normally, a river lake.
I know what that is.
Tell
I
me.
lived next to a river lake when I grew up. The
Wow.
Ottawa River goes, the Ottawa River.
Okay.
Where I lived, there was the Lake of Two Mountains,
Okay.
but it was actually part of the Ottawa River.
Okay.
But it was very much expanded. It is very much expanded. So it's like a lake, even though it's part of the river.
Okay.
Above and below the Lake of Two Mountains, it's a river.
So a river lake is a river, but that has expanded
Yes, that's
and looks like a lake.
that's my understanding.
That's your understanding. Well, makes sense. Okay. We accept your understanding. So I took a bath in the river and also drank water.
And also drank water.
Something we've been doing in the last few days, more than by contacting water.
By contacting water,
I got relief
I got relief
from my exhaustion.
from my exhaustion.
Report. A traveling mendicant can meet the needs of body, namely thirst and hunger, by the gifts of nature, without being a beggar at the doors of the householders. The mendicant therefore does not go to the house of a householder to beg, but to enlighten him spiritually. Translation again, thus traveling, this is Narada Muni, recalling his previous life. I felt tired both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry. So I took a bath in a river lake and also drank water. By contacting water, I got relief from my exhaustion. So we get a little glimpse of the importance of water. In other places, Prabhupada would say, if you're very hungry, just drink a little water and your hunger will be reduced, which is being referred to here as well. And in the purport, Prabhupada speaks about gifts of nature. Gifts of nature, we come to know there are, of course, many gifts of nature, but there are three primary gifts of nature that are described in the Mahabharata, which are so important and which are so fundamental, not only fundamental, but actually absolutely essential for all of us to live the way we are meant to live. And I would say it is very, very necessary for our devotees, especially, to meditate, to deeply understand the meaning of these three gifts of nature that I'm referring to, beginning with cows, land, and knowledge. This is explained by Grandfather Bhishmadev. I often make reference to this because whole Vedic culture is actually based on these three gifts of nature. When cows are properly cared for, and when the land also is not exploited as it is in modern day times, in modern day society, and when there is proper cultivation of knowledge, actual knowledge is spiritual knowledge, then nature gives in abundance. Just like Narada Muni, not only he would take bath, is described here, not only he took bath, but he drank water from that same lake, something that we cannot do in modern day times. I mean, in so many places we cannot even take bath because the rivers are dried up, isn't it? And we know how water is, one of the five Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu, one of the five components of Prakriti, material nature. And water is so precious, but we have misused so badly, actually. And now we have these major crises taking place in different countries. I mean, very, very acute crises, which are actually life-threatening. When we mishandle these gifts of nature, then we actually, it's like, what's the expression? I mean, shooting your own foot.
Yes.
Shooting your own foot. we are Yeah, by destroying nature, we destroy ourselves ultimately. And the other nice point that Prabhupada makes, of course, is that although mendicants do visit householders, um, it's not for the purpose of getting food. The primary purpose is to actually uh, give them spiritual instruction, those who are receptive. I have a nice story in that respect, which I haven't shared for a long time, but it's very instructive, and it will take us to Vrindavan if everyone is agreeable to go to Vrindavan. So, in the context of we call Madhukari. Madhukari is still practiced in different places in India. Madhukari, Madhu actually means honey, and the bees, their habit is to collect from flower to flower, small quantity, and in this way they make honey when they go back to their beehive. So Madhukari is actually the practice of going and just collecting. Collecting means begging, asking for small small amount of food from. There's some system. I've not done Madhukari, so I don't know the details. But it's like you should go only to about maybe 5 or 6 houses, or as soon as you have your 3 chapatis or whatever. So the story, this was told to me by one Brajavasi many years ago. I was I was going in front of the Krishna Balaram temple to get some what do they call it? This pani, nimbu pani, nimbu pani, um, uh, lemon juice. So somehow he started to talk to me. He says, you know, there's a practice here in Vrindavan that all the householders, they know that sometime in the morning, in the early morning, somebody will be knocking at their door or standing in front doing this madhukari. And so all the Brajabasis who very much respect sadhus and therefore support them, they usually prepare chapatis. And they give a chapati to, you know. So this Brajabasi was telling that when the Brajabasis prepare their roti, chapati, the first one they put aside, they don't give it to Krishna actually. You know, our understanding, whatever we cook first has to go to Krishna. But the Brajabasis, they think differently. The first chapati actually is set aside not for Krishna, it's for the cow. Then they prepare the second chapati, roti, and Krishna is just watching all this, and you know, hey, when the chapati is going to come to me? So the second chapati is ready, and Krishna is looking at it, but it doesn't go to him also. It goes for the brahmanas, for the sadhus coming at the door. Krishna has to wait for the third chapati. So this is because the Brajabasis, they know that Krishna is more happy when we serve his beloved cows and beloved sadhus. You know, this is the mentality of the residents of Braja. And of course, not only is there abundance, the Govardhan Hill, so much water actually is coming from Govardhan Hill. Not only when Indra gets gets mad and showers, but that's one of the reasons it's explained why Govardhan is worshipable. That's why Krishna was convincing Nanda Maharaj, why we should give to Indra. He gives rain anyways, but Govardhan every day is giving so much of shelter and food and water to our cows. So we should worship Govardhan. So when
Actually, Krishna became the land. He became
yes,
he became that very land on which the cows
yes, he is
depend
non-different.
for eating.
Yes,
Mind-boggling.
yes, yes, yes. We'll understand these things a bit better when we go back there.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. So material nature. Here we're talking about, you know, water. Water is so precious, so important. And yes, okay, we can continue here a little bit. Because all of this is being described actually by Narada Muni to take us to the climax. There's it's kind of like building up a little bit, you know. Because that was a question that Vyasa did. What happened after you left those sadhus, you know? And so then he started to explain, well, I was with my mother, I was alone, small boy. The sadhus went away. Then for some time I was with my mother, totally dependent on my mother. But then one day she got bitten by a snake. So I was all alone. What to do? So he started to travel, and that's what he's recounting here. Okay, 15, text 15. Tasmin nirmanuje ranye. Hare Krishna. Tasmin nirmanuje ranye. Pipalo pasta asritaha. Atmanat manam atmastam. Yathasrutam achintayam. Translation to text 15 and also purport. After that, under the shadow of a banyan tree in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the supersoul situated within, using my intelligence as I had learned from liberated souls. Haribol. So Prabhupada gives the following purport. One should not meditate according to one's personal whims. One should know perfectly well from the authoritative sources of scriptures through the transparent medium of a bona fide spiritual master and by proper use of one's trained intelligence for meditating upon the supersoul dwelling within every living being. This consciousness is firmly developed by a devotee who has rendered loving service unto the Lord by carrying out the orders of the spiritual master. Sri Narada Ji contacted bona fide spiritual masters, served them sincerely, and got enlightened rightly. Thus, he began to meditate.
Maharaj,
Yes,
it looks like, it sounds like it is the first time when Narada start to meditate, means a kind of new phase of his life or spiritual practice.
It's the first reference that we're reading about.
It looks like he mentioned in such a way that it looks like before that when he was wandering here and there, he didn't do that practice to sit down and meditate on the Paramatma. What you think?
Well, this verse does specifically mention that he intentionally sat with the purpose of meditating on the Supersoul, which was not related before. Whether he did it or not before, we don't actually know. But in the previous verse, we in the previous verses, we come to know that he was traveling, and as a young boy without any resources, he became very tired, etc., etc. Tired and thirsty. Then he got refreshed, and then the next verse we're reading is that now he's uh, engaged in meditation.
So that could be like for this kind of practice, one need some special environment or preparation.
Well, Prabhupada does make reference to the fact that when one has properly served a bona fide spiritual master, when one has been enlightened, then these are some of the prerequisites for successfully meditating, isn't it? So that's
like in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. There is a description very detailed of how one should prepare their seat, find a suitable place, solitude place, and then start this kind of meditation, which is different from chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which we can practically do it in different situations, like in a temple room where there is maybe others also there and make some other sometimes strange noise, or on the street when we're walking. So it looks like a kind of different type of practice which we have been learned as a main practice.
Difficult to say. What I understand from this description is that whether it is chanting the holy name, our primary meditation, we speak about mantra meditation, chanting of Hare Krishna, will have a similar effect when we are fortunate to also meet the prerequisites that were there in the case of Narada Muni. In other words, Narada Muni, like all of us who are devotees, we have come in contact with bona fide process, bona fide spiritual master, and which is mentioned here, of course, very important, rendering of service, which is very much connected with what Krishna instructs also in the Bhagavad Gita, that viri pranipatena, pariprashnena sevaya. So one needs to have the proper mentality, humble humble frame of mind. One needs to be engaged in practical service, which is something that Narada did, engaged in practical service to those sadhus. And Prashna, being inquisitive, these prerequisites more easily lead one to actually tattvadarshinaha, to have actually to understand. And this is exactly in the next verse is going to be described that when at some particular point, at this point, this verse is what is being described here. At some particular time, Narada just sat to begin meditating, and we will see in the next verse that the Lord actually reciprocated, revealed himself in a very unique and special way to Narada Muni. So I think your question is in relation to, well, how can we, by chanting Hare Krishna, also come to that?
Yeah, because if we use that word meditation is a very common way, it's quite different how it is used in a technical instruction. When you reach that level, which is before that there are different levels of consciousness. In the Nectar of Devotion 8, there is a purport, very detailed, what are these levels, and that if you don't reach that level in chanting,
Right.
then we not get that kind of focus and deep and undisturbed and unbroken consciousness and the relationship
Right.
to the holy name,
Yes, yes.
which he reached in his meditation to the Paramatma, but we are trying to reach the same strong relationship to the holy name.
Right.
And we should not take it very easy. Otherwise, we will just think, I'm chanting, I'm meditating, but there is no result. Because that's not meditation, that's just a kind of preliminary chanting. If you don't focus on that, if we don't increase that ability, we will not, maybe not reach that
Yeah.
result.
There needs to be a quality to our chanting,
Yeah.
to our which is meant to be actual meditation. We hear different devotees who are quite experienced in chanting. They will give instructions like, when you're chanting, you should be chanting, not doing other things. You should not be. You should not be distracted by some WhatsApp message that comes on your phone or whatever, different things. Yeah.
Prabhupada specifically says that hearing means applying the mind.
Hearing means applying the mind. Yes.
Yeah. So if we're chanting and we're doing things and we're not.
Yeah. We're not there.
We're not there.
We're not there. Yeah. So Prabhupada here in the purport mentions about Narada Muni use his intelligence, right? So actually, many years ago, I had heard from maybe it's in one of the books he had written, Satsvarup Maharaj, who was telling that actually, for us as devotees, the most important activity is our chanting. We don't generally think about that, but the most important activity for us, we should be giving, in other words, our topmost attention, which we often don't. So that means that it's only when we follow in the footsteps of what Narada Muni is about to reveal to us, what happened when he actually did that, then he got the very unique result of actually having darshan of the Lord and the Lord speaking to him. Yeah. So in other words, we will get the maximum benefit in our chanting by applying what is being described here by Narada Muni. Yes. Yeah. Anything else? I think we will see we will keep rather the one of the most important verses in this chapter for tomorrow. Don't mind. What to do?
It's a kind of invitation.
Should I come? Should I? I think I should come.
Well, I mean, you know, you made a mistake of coming on Monday last week.
Yeah.
You can make the same mistake.
I think I should come. Now that you've said that, I can't come. It would be actually offensive.
Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki.
Jai.
Jai Sri Prabhupada Ki. Gauri Premanandi.
Maharaj, is there time? I don't know what time it is.